Life goes on with the flow of time. You now find yourself in a hall among other people, listening to a talk. Tonight you will go back home. Tomorrow brings another day. But this flow is not as it seems. Time is not linear. Time is not a straight line from point A to point B. I am deeply fascinated by the latest discoveries concerning black holes, for example, wormholes, and space-time. I am a contemporary artist focused on creating site-specific installations to aim and establish a dialogue between artworks and the surrounding space. A metaphysical, timeless dimension. Here you are, a recent installation I did, land art, outdoor installation, as well as indoor artworks. Today, I would like to share with you 3 series of the work I'm doing. XYZT, Fragments, 150-93. I know could sound weird at the first listening, but actually you have a very easy explanation about that. The title of the series, XYZT, is a code with a specific meaning. XYZ represent the axis of a grid, the space, and T is for time. The artworks aim to summarize the concept of space and time and to establish a dialogue between these phases, past, present, and future, and their changes. But what is happening here? At first glance, this artwork appears as a clean, sharp, essential object. However, the mirror on the front, this straight and sharp surface, has a peculiarity. It reflects the image and distorts it. The image flexes and then reverts to initial appearance. This isn't a digital screen or a filter, this is real. The mirror actually moves. These kinetic mirrors let the viewer become distorted, disappear, and then reappear by surprise. When you disappear, you blend in with the surrounding space, like a sort of a black hole where everything becomes dense inside. And this is exactly the inspiration of the whole series. XYZ was first presented at the Mume Museum in Italy, which was a particularly special project for me. The museum is not a contemporary art museum, as you can see. It actually holds masterpieces from the past, from antique art. In this room, it was dedicated to 2 huge paintings by Caravaggio, probably one of the greatest painters ever. The initial idea, the concept, was to elevate the painting, create a dialogue between the users, the viewers, and the antique collections. So 2 metal totems are facing the artwork, and it's create a deep, profound experience, melting past, present, and future together. Following that exhibition, I continued creating land art installation with this series, distorting and play around with the surrounding space, especially nature. In this case, we have volcanic rocks, seafront. These black rocks are actually coming from a volcano. Or in a castle with an altitude of almost 2,000 meters, surrounded by mountains. This metal totem here is completely out of context, if you see this. Imagine hikers, the reaction of hikers encountering these strangers at 2,000 meters high during their day. Other special projects in non-contemporary art museums, such as this archaeological collection. Eventually, in London, in the Contemporary Art Gallery which I'm working with. So it was beautiful to start from outdoor installation and ending up in a contemporary art gallery with smaller version of the big totem, the big tall metal totem, but this more little wall sculpture. On the right, we can see also the interaction with the light, as the black hole also has a very specific interaction with light. So what is a black hole? One of the most fascinating and mysterious phenomena in the universe, a massive force in terms of power, and yet virtually invisible to us. We've gone from knowing nothing about black hole to a little bit more and more with time discover with science about it. From Einstein's general relativity to 1960s, the year which proved its existence. Gravity is so strong that nothing can escape from a black hole, not even light. A black hole can be formed by the death of a massive stars out of the universe. What was once theoretical, an idea, now it's empiric, it's proved, it is science. It is not science fiction anymore. In 2021, we had actually the very first picture, the photo of a black hole. This is stunning. Tonight, if you look at the star, for example, above our heads, in the direction of Sagittarius, we can feel, very long distance, there is a huge black hole. Right now, in this moment, when we are speaking, we're actually gravitating into that. This was the entrance of another show called Fragments. Fragments began as a contemplation about suspensions in general, suspension of thought, suspension of feelings, suspension of time, eternity. At the center of this hall, the exhibition area, there is a ring in the middle, a suspended ring. And you'll notice threads, strings extending towards the walls in a room. Seems they stretched into the infinity. From this point of view, it seems symmetric, but it is not. Shifting to a side view, it reveals numerous lines heading in different directions. Cycle, infinite, eternity. Space and time are not distinct realities. Space and time can be curved. And a wormhole is a place where some space-time is so extreme that creates a tunnel-like structure. So what if inside a black hole there is no oblivion? What if inside a black hole we have a tunnel-like structure and we have an entry and an exit? This is a very big question today for science, for physics. Wormholes could be shortcuts through space and time, transporting us to different universes, different time, like a time machine, for example, a bridge with an entry and an exit. We now go back and we now returning to planet Earth with this number, 150 millions kilometers, 93 million miles is the number of a distance between our planet and the sun. A small alteration in this number would disrupt the delicate balance of our existence. Potentially, it can destroy all life on our planet. So it's a very important measurement. It must be like that. This sculpture is 5 meters high, and it was a truly unique project I did in Palazzo Reale in Palermo, Sicily, Royal Palace. Geometry is the language of universe. Here, all the measurements are not arbitrary. All the measurements are either multiple or factor of the number 8. 8 represents the concept of infinity. 8 is infinity. Cycle, infinity, eternity. Again. So long edges, short edges, diagonals, everything ties back to the number 8. The entire structure takes the form of an octagon. The artwork follows the ground of the geometry of the ground, as you can see in the clip. The space and the artwork merge into one thing. It is incredibly different, There is this contrast, yet integrates at the same time, somehow. I was touched by the feedback from people, and one of the most intriguing was, it makes me connect with nature. And it's weird, because actually this material is glass and metal. It's not organic. Yet, it was a very, very beautiful feedback. It changes from day to night, acting as a mirror during the day. And at night, this mirror dissolves. Eventually, it becomes illuminating. Behind this installation lies a digital coding of the actual color of Aurora Borealis. A breathtaking phenomenon resulting from solar storm interacting with the Earth's electromagnetic fields, creating a stunning spectacle at night. All data, all this coding of the real color were put into the motherboard, a circuit, and then were put into the light source. So we did 2 public installations with the same concept of the sculpture, but in a different way. This was a representation of Aurora Borealis, typically spread across the sky. But in this case, it's condensed and displayed in a vertical sculpture, an ephemeral sculpture with no matter, no metal, no glass, just light, untouchable. And it was moving at night. A neat sculpture. Today's talk was like a journey from something so distant like black holes, trillion kilometers away from us, to wormholes, to the sun, to our planets, eventually to our inner self. Everything we discussed is deeply tied to perception. What you see here in this picture, this is a glass and metal sculpture. Could be something microscopic, could be something like an atom structure, or could be also a constellation. What all these have in common? By studying the stars, we learn about autonomy, and the other way around, star and anatomy, and the other way around. As an artist, my works try to express the relationship between the micro and the macro, with time as a central protagonist. Everything is interconnected. Everything is connected. And what is the difference between art and science? What is the difference between science and philosophy? They may not seem following the same path, but it's not like that. They flow together. Everything flows together. Confluence derived from Latin, which means flow together or converging. It is about multiple things converging. So the common thread among all of this is a dot, small dot. This dot is actually a question mark. This is what humans have done forever, making question and solve that and go further again, making other question and go further. Wonder. Wonder, we should never cease to wonder, because wonder is actually what is driving the force, the driving force of all things, everything. So let's keep wondering and let's stay curious, because it's the very important, the most important thing. Ironically, my time ran out, but I will be here if you have any other question. Thank you very much.